An aircraft carrier is a warship that serves as a seagoing airbase, equipped with a full-length flight deck and facilities for carrying, arming, deploying, and recovering aircraft. 1. Typically, it is the capital ship of a fleet, as it allows a naval force to project air power worldwide without depending on local bases for staging aircraft operations. Carriers have evolved since their inception in the early 20th century from wooden vessels used to deploy balloons to nuclear-powered warships that carry numerous fighters, strike aircraft, helicopters, and other types of aircraft. While heavier aircraft such as fixed-wing gunships and bombers have been launched from aircraft carriers, these aircraft have not landed on a carrier. The top of the carrier is the flight deck, where aircraft are launched and recovered. On the starboard side of this is the island, where the funnel, air traffic control, and the bridge are located. The constraints of constructing a flight deck affect the role of a given carrier strongly, as they influence the weight, type, and configuration of the aircraft that may be launched. For example, assisted launch mechanisms are used primarily for heavy aircraft, especially those loaded with air-to-ground weapons. As runways at sea, aircraft carriers have a flat-top flight deck, which launches and recovers aircraft. Aircraft launch forward, into the wind, and are recovered from astern. The flight deck is where the most notable differences between a carrier and a land runway are found. Creating such a surface at sea poses constraints on the carrier. For example, the size of the vessel is a fundamental limitation on runway length. This affects takeoff procedure, as a shorter runway length of the deck requires that aircraft accelerate more quickly to gain lift. This either requires a thrust boost, a vertical component to its velocity, or a reduced takeoff load to lower mass. USS Gerald R. Ford. The USS Gerald R. Ford is the world's largest aircraft carrier. It is the first of the Ford-class carriers and the most technologically advanced carrier to date. The U.S. has sent the carrier toward Israel to deter any potential escalation in the ongoing conflict. 17 October 2023. This list of aircraft carriers contains aircraft carriers listed alphabetically by name. An aircraft carrier is a warship with a full-length flight deck and facilities for carrying, arming, deploying, and recovering aircraft that serves as a seagoing airbase. Countries currently operating fixed-wing aircraft carriers, 10. Countries currently operating solely helicopter carriers, 6. Historical operators of carriers, 3. How do the aircraft carriers work? The aircraft carriers will work together with modern, state-of-the-art combat and surveillance aircraft in order to make them highly versatile and adaptable when out on operations. Carriers can get large amounts of people and equipment across the globe quickly to where it's needed. The Lightning II is a highly technical fast jet that uses stealth, speed and agility in order to fight for the UK and our allies. It has the ability to take off and land on the carrier using advanced short takeoff and vertical landing (STOVL) techniques. This gives us flexibility in the way we deal with threats and emerging events either on land or at sea. Wowzer Carrier Rikon.png aircraft carriers are basically floating airbases, transporting, servicing, launching planes into combat and recovering them, providing readily available air support to the naval fleets under their charge. While they can project power virtually anywhere on the battlefield, carriers are incredibly vulnerable when enemies have penetrated or circled your team's defenses, with no player-controlled guns and only AI-controlled secondaries to defend themselves. While the first ship launch takeoffs, and subsequently airborne attacks, were made in the early 20th century, the then immature development of heavier-than-air aircraft prevented them from having any major influence in World War I. During the interwar years, ongoing research resulted in the development of several converted and purpose-built ships that could not only launch aircraft, but eventually recover them as well. In addition, carrier-launched aircraft, or rather, air power in general, began to have longer ranges, superior flexibility and greater precision than naval guns of any size and make. Although fierce resistance from big-gun battleship admirals initially limited carrier assets and development, it was in World War II, amply illustrated by the battles of Taranto, Pearl Harbor, Coral Sea, Midway, and Operation Tango, that the aircraft carrier clearly demonstrated its overwhelmingly superior ability to project naval power and took over the reins as the flagship of a navy from battleships. A trend that continues today. Playing an aircraft carrier differs quite a bit from playing the regular warships. Aircraft carrier captains can, for the most part, keep their vessel far from the main action of a battle and instead participate in the battle with individual squadrons of strike craft. You do not directly participate in combat, but are able to influence the flow of battle from a safe distance like no one else can, scouting, reinforcing a crumbling flank. Bathroom and food facilities on an aircraft carrier are designed to accommodate a large number of personnel in a relatively confined space. Here are some of the key features of these facilities. Bathrooms, public restrooms. Aircraft carriers typically have a number of public restrooms located throughout the ship. These restrooms are generally similar to those found on commercial aircraft or in other public spaces, with individual stalls and sinks for hand washing. Berthing area restrooms. Personnel who are assigned to sleep in the berthing areas of the ship also have access to shared restrooms. These restrooms are typically larger than the public restrooms and may include multiple sinks. Toilets and showers. Showers on an aircraft carrier are generally communal and may be located in a separate area from the restrooms. The showers are typically designed to be efficient and space-saving, with multiple shower heads in a single stall. Food facilities. Mess halls. Aircraft carriers typically have one or more mess halls where personnel can go to eat. These facilities are similar to large cafeteria-style restaurants, with a variety of hot and cold food options served buffet-style. Galleys. The galleys on an aircraft carrier are the kitchens where food is prepared. These facilities are highly specialized and are equipped with large-scale cooking equipment and storage facilities. Snack bars and convenience stores. Many aircraft carriers also have smaller snack bars and convenience stores where personnel can purchase snacks, drinks, and other food items outside of regular meal times. Overall, bathroom and food facilities on an aircraft carrier are designed to be functional, efficient, and able to accommodate a large number of people in a relatively confined space. While they may be more utilitarian than some other facilities, they are nonetheless an important part of ensuring that personnel on board the ship are able to stay clean, comfortable, and well-fed during. How does one get to eat at an aircraft carrier in the U.S. military? I assume you mean on. It's not that hard. 2 main mess decks forward and aft for enlisted. The chiefs have one. I'm not sure how many wardrooms there are for the officers, but the senior officers have one too. They were open most of the time to accommodate all the different watches. Enlisted mess above during a main meal. Not always that busy, my carrier. USS Carl Vinson. Soda machines, milk when we had it, etc. over on the side to fill your glasses. They filled your plates in the back and you slide your tray down. What is the food like on an aircraft carrier? Depends on where you eat. I was an enlisted man and ate on the ordinary mess decks, of which there were 2. The forward mess was what we called the burger joint. It mostly served quick eats like hamburgers, hot dogs, sandwiches, etc. that you could either take and run, or sit down and eat quickly so that there would be no lines. The idea was that you could take a very quick break from working and go grab a bite. You were allowed to eat in a dirty shirt up forward. The forward mess was equipped to serve real meals as well, and sometimes did, but mostly was the burger bar. The aft mess was not unlike a cafeteria. It served breakfast every morning, which consisted of scrambled eggs, bacon and or sausage, sometimes pancakes or waffles, omelets made to orderish, and some sort of fried potato. There was always cereal, and usually fresh fruit. We would run out as we got closer to resupply, fruit juices and milk, the quality of which varied based on how long we'd been at sea. I believe strongly that Navy breakfast is the best meal in the service. Lunch was usually burgers or something. Please subscribe and on bell icon for next video.